Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoebeck, and I'm going to do my May 2022 TBR. So, I have way too many books sitting here beside me, but I just want to read everything. And I'm not saying I'm going to read these many books. I think I have like 22 books sitting here. They're just a pile of possibilities. So what I'm going to do is show my core 3 this time, and then ones that might be one of the cores, but I'm not positive. And then the rest is all from readathons that are going on right now or going to go on in May, and then other books. I just want to read so many different kind of books, and I don't know what my mood's going to take me. I'm definitely embracing my mood reading and binging series, and I'm just going to let myself go with it. So, but these are the ones that are on my radar right now. I'm not saying it's going to stay the same. It doesn't seem to. May is my birthday month, so my reading might be, I might be all over the place. Who knows? We'll see, because I usually let myself buy a lot of books in May. And I've bought a lot of books already this year. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not lying about that. But, you know, May, I'm going to Pals with my dad. We haven't done our yearly trip to the downtown Pals, so I know it's going to happen at some point. So those books might end up on my TBR later, or end up being read in the later part of the month. We'll see. Who knows? So let's start with the 3 core books. They're all series books, so they're all continuing series. They're actually all the second book in the series that I want to read this month. So the first one is a buddy read with Tea and All the Books. White Hot by Alana Andrews is the second book in the Hidden Legacy series. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. This is an urban fantasy about magic in an alternate world. This takes place in Houston, Texas, and we're following Nevada, who is a private investigator who gets kind of caught up with the big power, the big magician, the primes, who are the ones who have all the power. Horrible covers. Ignore the cover. Book inside should be really good. The first book, Burn for me, was really awesome. So I'm hoping to like the second book. It says we're going to bunny read this about the middle of the month. So I'm looking forward to continuing that series. I really want to continue the 9 Realms series. I read the first book in January. It was the first thing I finished in January, but I haven't picked up the next book. So I need to pick up the next book so that I can finish this series this year. That's my goal. If I like the second book, let's just be honest. So this is following Queen and her heir, her daughter, who are dealing with things going on or outside of their kingdom, as well as what is happening in their palace with them, and what they're and things that they have to deal with, and decisions that are made. So the first book was really good. I really enjoyed it. It went in some weird directions, and I wanted to see where it goes in the second book. Don't read the back of these books. Just try it without looking at the back, because it spoils what happens. So anyway, I want to read book 2 of that 4-book series. And then I'd also like to read book 2 in the Circe Protocol series. This is also a 4-book series by Gail Carriger. This takes place after the Parasol Protectorate. These are the kids of the main characters in that one. Sorry, I have allergies today in my throat. This is, again, book 2. They're traveling around the world in a dirigible. It's late 1800s. Steampunk, Victorian, but fun with vampires, werewolves, and other creatures, and different sorts of things going on. I don't know where this is going because the way the first book ended, so I'm really excited to continue on with that series. And then the book that's kind of like might be one of the core 4 books that I put on my actual TBR is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I think Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures is doing a read along for this. I'm not positive. I seem to have a note that says that was happening in May. Maybe I'm wrong, but if it happens this month and she's doing it, then I'll be reading Warbreaker. We'll see. I read the Mistborn series quite a few years ago, and I just have never continued on reading his books. I have quite a few of them. So I wanted to go back and read Warbreaker and Elantris, hopefully maybe, before I pick up Mistborn Era 2 before the last book in that series comes out. But Warbreaker is one I've been really wanting to get to. This one has to do with breath. Magic is somehow connected with that. And two sisters who, one was supposed to be given in marriage for an alliance, and then at the last minute, the king or the emperor or whatever, changes his mind and sends the other sister, and then the one who is supposed to go decides to go save the other one. I don't know. So I don't know a whole lot about this. This is one I've always wanted to get to. I just haven't. So this is a possibility if she's doing that read-along. I'm not sure. But that could be a core one if it turns out she is doing that, because I had it on my list since January or so. So a couple of the readathons I'm taking part in, or a little bit at least, is Jenna at Chicky Bean Loves Books is doing Mary Shelley May. So reading things about Mary Shelley or by her, or, you know, somehow connected to her. So I have one little book by her called Matilda. I know this is kind of the more controversial one, or the weird one. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a weird relationship between a man and his daughter. And then I want to go back and finish Romantic Outlaws. The Extraordinary Life of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. I have the audio, which now I don't see my little sticky note of who does it, but I got, let's see, I got 110 pages in, so I want to go back and I'll probably just start it where it was. I started this 2 years ago and I really want to finish it. I just never got back to it. So these are the two I'm hoping to read for that month-long readathon on Mary Shelley. If I pick up something else, that's great. But this is like the major one I want to get to because I have it on audio. But I also would like to read this little book. So we'll see about that. Maybe I'll put these books over here. I have too many books. This was kind of out of order, but I do have two books that are pre-orders. I would like to get to maybe one of them this month. One of them is The Lamplighters by Emma Stonix, I think. And this has to do with 1972 and some. But this one actually could go with one of the other readathons. So, but I'm just going to mention it here. That is some lighthouse caretakers. They go missing, and then it's following I think the wives who are left behind. And it's like 20 years later, and things that even though they should have, like, the wives should have been closer because of what happened, they actually drifted apart. So I'm not sure, but I pre-ordered that from the UK, from Blackwell's, sorry, my brain. And then I also pre-ordered Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka, and this is translated from the Japanese by Sam Melissa. So this is like an adventure, or spy kind of. I think there's like all these people who are killers and spies and stuff on this train, and everything goes wrong. This is all I remember. I'm hoping it's going to be super action-packed, I think, because there are films and movies coming out. So I'm not saying I'm going to read both of those. I'm saying I'd like to pick up one because they're my pre-orders, and I'm trying to read all my pre-orders that I get this year. Okay, so here's now like big stacks of, like, these are not, I'm not going to read all these. These are all options I have to read for this one readathon. This, I think the last one I think I'm participating in. So I have Katie at Books and Things is doing historical fiction readathon, I think is what she's calling it. It's her readathon this year in May that she always picks a different one. So this one. So I have a couple of historical fiction ones I might like to read. I might want to read The Mercies by Kieran Millwood Hargrave, which is about 1617 Norway, and some women who were living there after many of the men were killed in an accident at sea, and then how civilization from other places comes and kind of try to wreak havoc on them. The Animals of Lockwood Manor by Jane Healy. This is World War II, where things from the National Museum is taken out of London to be protected, but something weird is going on at this Lockwood Manor, and when the stuff goes there, I don't know. So I don't know what the time frame is, but there's two different times. So I just picked this one. I'm not, maybe it's not considered historical fiction, but The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook is about a woman and her 3 daughters who go to this lighthouse to do some kind of moral, I can't say that word right now. She goes to work on something there, and 2 of the daughters go missing, and then something happens to the mother. And then 20 years later, the only daughter who's left gets a call that her youngest sister shows up, but her youngest sister still looks the same age as she was when she disappeared. So it sounds kind of cool and creepy. And then 2 of the books that are historical fiction that I would like to finish because I've already started them. And one of them is Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen by Alison Weir. This is the first book in the 6 Tudor Queens series. I got, I don't know, 100 some pages in, 122 pages in. And I changed books at the time and I set it down. I didn't mean to set it down for 3 months, but I did. So I would like to get back and finish that because that's the series I would like to continue in. And then, of course, the major one that I should pick up, because this has taken me over a year to read, is the Vicom de Briglion by Alexander Dumas. This is book 3 in the D'Artagnan romances. First one is The Three Musketeers. So I would really like to continue this series. This is a series that has plagued me, and this book just doesn't call to me as the other ones did. So I'm hoping that this might be the month that I do this. We'll see. So let me set those aside, out of the way. Sorry, too many books. And then I have one science fiction that I like to sneak in because I've been just staring at it and wanting to read it, and that is Activation Degradation by Marina J. Lostetter. So this one is has kind of vibes of Murderbot in some ways. That it's a biological soft robot that's up in space and supposed to be protecting, I think, this mine or something. And aliens attack, and then it's trying to figure out why something, I think something didn't happen like it was supposed to, or why it was activated and not working the same way it's supposed to. I don't know. It sounds kind of cool. And then I have, let's do these. Oh, all these other, I have too many books. I have my 2 booktube spin books for May and June. I would like to pick up one of these. One of them is The Coward by Stephen Aaron, which is the first book, and I think in a duology. And it has to do with a man who comes back from being on an adventure, and he's the only survivor, so everybody thinks he's a hero. And then 20 years later, I think it's 20 years later, or 10 years later, something happens, then whatever he was supposed to have killed or destroyed comes back, and then he is forced to, I think, go and fight it again, and he doesn't want to. And then I also have Hollow Smoke by H.M. Long, which is a book, I think it's Norse mythology, or North, yeah, kind of Nordic inspired, but it's a priestess who makes a decision to save somebody, or to not kill somebody when she was told to, and there's consequences to that, and then she goes on a quest to kind of redeem herself, I think. So both of those are my booktube spins. I would like to read at least one of those this month, or in May, so that I can read the other one in June, but we'll see how that goes. I might continue the Book of the Order by Philippa Valentine. So this is Wraith, sorry. I'm reading book 2 right now, so I'm not sure if I'm going to want to continue. It's a series where I'm not sure it's worth it to me to read the whole thing. I'm not sure yet. So this is kind of a maybe. I might get to that, and that's about geists and wraths and ghosts kind of things that are coming from another dimension, and deacons are the magic users who are protecting the land. I'd like to start my reread of the SPI Files series. I read the first 3 books. The first one is The Grendel Affair by Lisa Sharon. So I'd like to read those and get back into them. There are 7 books total in the series, but I'd like to start them. So they're urban fantasy, New York City. The woman is, I can't remember what her name is. Is it Mackenzie? Oh, McKenna. And she is a seer. So she works with people, and then there's other, Grendel is obviously, there's something weird going on in New York. Anyway, and then I would like to pick up on audio a reread of Lamentations by Ken Scholes. So I have the whole 5-book series of this on audio as well as physical, so we'll see. But this has to do, is a epic fantasy where a city is suddenly destroyed, and it's kind of like the aftermath of how that happened with what technology they do have and how that affects everybody around them and the different political stuff that happens from that. And it was really good. I read the first 2 books, and then I had to wait for the next books because it took a long time to get them, for him to get them out. And then I just waited because I already knew I had to reread it. So, but I can at least listen to the first 2 on audio to get past the ones I've reread and then continue on. But I want to at least start it, so that'd be good. And then I would like to start the Rhaeria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. Theft of Swords is the first book that has the two novels in one. I think the first one is Crown Conspiracy. So I want to at least read that one, at least half of this, and find out if I like these books or like his writing. I don't know. I've just heard really good things about it, about Hadrian and Royce, who are the 2 guys in here. It's a series I definitely want to try this year and hopefully get through, but we'll see. I want to try his book, at least one of them, one section. I really want to read Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldier. It just looks fun. It's how about a mercenary or orc barbarian who decides she is done and she retires, and I think she has a coffee shop, and then I think there's like a romance in here too, but it's like mostly domestic. It's very low, not high adventure or anything, but it just looks really fun. I think it's self-pub, so I thought that looked really cute. And then the last one that I really want to get to is The Black Coast by Mike Brooks. This is the first book in the God King Chronicles, and this is the one I accidentally bought the second book, and I haven't even read the first one yet, so I'd really like to do that before the third book comes out in September. So I want to know if I want to continue. So this again is another fantasy where I think this has to do with these two places used to fight against each other. They're somehow connected with their kings. Like one got splintered off a group, and then so they fought, and then one time they come to do battle, and it turns out they're actually fleeing from something else that is wreaking havoc on the other side of on their continent. So and then it has to do with refugees and also this line of succession, I think, of some sort. So anyway, I don't know. I hear there's dragons. I want to read it. Anyway, so those are all the books that are possibilities. Sorry, these 3 are for sure. I want to get to them this month. I need to get to this book just to continue on. And these 2, this one's a buddy read, so I'm going to do that. And this one I want to really bad to continue. I'm pretty sure I'm going to read Warbreaker, but I'm not positive. I haven't seen anything on that yet, so that's a possibility. So that also might be my number 4. And then everything else is just a possibility. I will have everybody linked down below for the readathons that I am participating in. If there's anything in here that you think I definitely need to read, let me know so I know where to focus my attention, because I am like I want to read it all. I want to read it all. But I think we're all like that, right? Anyway, so that's it. What are you guys reading for May? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.